So I know we've all run into items like that. So let's go ahead and demonstrate how to do that here. I'm going to minimize this. And I'm logged in as an administrator on our test account. As you can see, logged in as admin at Dido LLC here. And for those of us that are on here that are administrators, which I would say most of the attendees are, there are a few end users here as well. This is mainly for administrators. So what you do is while you're in your inbox, simply click on Manage this domain. And it brings you to the admin control panel, which I know that most of you all are familiar with. So to go ahead and perform this action here, what you have to do is you have to locate the Advanced Tools tab here. Click on Advanced Tools. And I need you to scroll down all the way to the bottom here, and you'll see right at the bottom, Document Ownership Transfer. Now, again, before you had to go through this person's account, find the important documents that that person was in charge of and needed to be transferred over to somebody, when you needed to take that action. So it was one by one, very painstaking, very time-consuming, and it wasn't a great way to do it. So Google had heard our requests, and they have made it a lot easier. So it's a really simple way to do things here. All you do is simply enter the person's email or name, the username here, of the person that owns the documents at this time, and we're going to take the documents from the owner, Clint, and we're going to transfer them to Bill. All right, it's just two simple names to enter here, and I've entered Clint and Bill. I'm going to select Transfer Documents here, and as you can see, it's loading. It's taking just a moment here. And what it is telling me is it has successfully initiated document ownership transfer. The new owner, the current owner, and you, as in the administrator, will get a notification email after the completion of the process. So simply click OK here. I'm going to go back to my inbox and look for this email. And you can see here, it's from no reply. But notification of ownership transfer, simply open that. And it lets me know here that Google Docs processed a request from the admin transferring the number of documents. And this time, Clint only was the owner of one document. So we went ahead and transferred that document over to Bill. And you'll see here, if we were to log in as Bill, it'll show you something here. So we'll go ahead and show you that really quickly here. We'll open up an incognito window. And we're going to log in 1 second here. Log in as Bill. Okay, we're going to open up his documents. And what you'll see here is I transferred documents twice to Bill today. And what I have done, you'll see here, that what has happened is it's now created a collection, and it's transferred from Clint at DidoLLC.com. And you can see that that was the first one that I did earlier today, and this is the second one here, Test 1 and Test 2. And I can just open up the document. Before, Bill wasn't even shared on this document, and Clint was the only person that had it, and now Bill is the owner of it. So very simple thing to do. What's great about that is that it simply loads all the documents into a collection for quick access. That's a really nice feature in the admin control panel. Okay? So we're going to close that out. And we're going to move on to mail here. And I want to touch on just a couple things here. The first thing is the popular labs that have graduated. As you know, Google Labs are experimental features that are in a beta form that are available to you in your inbox in Gmail as well as Calendar, too. There are a few labs in Calendar. And, they provide these labs to these users so they can test them out, and they get good feedback, and they also get some negative feedback depending on how the user feels. So when some of these labs get great feedback and they find the adoption rate is very high, they go ahead and they take these labs and turn them, go ahead and send them off and turn them, put them right into the actual platform there, make them part of the settings portion there. So they've done that with two of these labs here, and the first one is Superstars. And as you know, the ability to add stars in your inbox You can have multiple stars, not just the typical yellow star. You can have a blue star and a red star, and you can have a check mark and an exclamation point in the colors of purple and blue. A lot of variations there for you to manage your inbox, and that can be located when you click on the gear in the upper right-hand corner, and then it'll take you to the settings page, and it is under the general settings page, where the same page where your vacation responder and your signature section are. So you'll be able to see that, and it's just part of the application now. No longer do you need to enable that lab. The second one is the nested labels lab, and what you'll know about that is that was the way to create sublabels, and when you did a migration before, maybe those labels came in, those folders came in, returned into labels, and they were very long thread. And when you enabled that lab, it grouped them back together into the form that you were familiar with in your legacy system. Well, now you don't no longer have to enable that lab when items are migrated over. They're going to be migrated over the same way with a parent label and a child label there. So if you did want to see what that looks like quickly here, what you'll see is that in your inbox here, you have these labels here. And what you can do is to the right-hand side, you can simply click on the drop-down arrow. Again, this is where you provided a color. And this is where you can also remove the label, add another sub-label if you'd like. And this is all available to you now without enabling that lab. So they've gone ahead and graduated that, which is a great feature. And again, no administrator action required. The user can access the functionality through Gmail just like they regularly would. And I see we have a question here. Is there a limit to the amount of sub-labels? I need to verify that. I'm not sure they've changed it since they've graduated the labels lab. But I believe we tested it and we've had up to 7, and I know that I just need to confirm that. Michelle, maybe you could shed some light on that if maybe you could do a little research while we're demonstrating that. But I'm not sure if it changed, and I just need to get you the correct answer. So great question. We'll go ahead and get that for you, okay? Okay, excellent. So the last thing I want to demonstrate before Michelle Taylor takes over today is the ability to paste images from your clipboard. Now, this is only for Google Chrome. The enhancement is only for Google Chrome, so our users out there that use Google Chrome, we hope that you all are, can paste images directly from their clipboard into Gmail messages. Now, before, what you had to do was you had to click on the image, save that file as something, and then you had to search for it when you wanted to add it in there, and it was kind of a pain to do it. It was a little bit harder. Or what the ability to do was, you had to highlight the image, Control-C, and then Control-V to paste it in there. So you were able to do it, but you weren't using the clipboard like most people are accustomed to using. So let's just go ahead and demonstrate really quickly how to do that, and it's very simple. Go ahead and put this up here. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick Google search. Let me go here. We'll go to google.com. We'll go to, and we'll go to images here, and we're going to find our Dido images here. Now what I want to demonstrate is when I click on this, I can simply right-click on the actual emblem here. I can copy the image by simply left-clicking, and I can go to my inbox, click on Compose Mail, send a message to Michelle Taylor, and when I'm in the text box here, I can simply right-click and click on Paste. And you can see it's now loaded into the image there. I know it's very simple, but before that feature was you were not allowed to do that by simply right-clicking or right-clicking to copy and then right-clicking to paste. So they've made it a lot easier to do that because a lot of us used mouses and not a lot of the shortcuts. So they've made it really, really easy for us to do that, and we think it's a really great feature. So look for more of these great features to come. And with that, Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you if you'd like to take control there. All right, give us 1 second while we go ahead and transfer there. Thank you very much.
Hi, Matt. Thanks so much. I just want to make sure that you all are able to view my screen now. And I want to kind of pick up where Matt left off. A couple of the other features that we were going to review were what's new in Calendar and what's new in Docs. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration on some of those new features as well. So what we have in Calendar, a couple of new features, the appointment slots, where you can manage the use of appointment slots and have those available as office hours or appointments. You can publish that calendar to others, and people can sign up for appointment slots where you have predetermined times. And I'll demonstrate for you how you can do that. Also, something that's new in Calendar, you can change the default meeting length time. It used to be a 60-minute standard. So when you created an event, it was always 60 minutes, and you may have gone in and edited often and made that a 30-minute appointment or a 20-minute, and now you can change the default. So those are two new Calendar features. So let's take a look at those first, and then we'll look at some of the Docs features. So I have a couple of accounts that I'm working out of. And just want to point out, here we're in my training account, so this is my general mail, and I can access my calendar from this. I've already opened up a calendar tab above, so I'm not going to open up a new tab. So I want to take a look at how to create an appointment slot. And you'll notice if you click on anywhere on your calendar, you used to previously you would see the event, and now we see that this is appointment slots, which is a new feature. So you're able to create appointments easily by selecting create the appointment slot. So if I've said that I want to have consultation. So I want to be able to have consultation appointments. I can select if I want it on my main calendar or a different calendar. So maybe I want it on my Dido training calendar. And I can offer this as a single appointment slot, or I can offer slots of 30 minutes. I can do this short, create the slots right now, or I can go to editing the details and I can create additional appointments. So let's go to edit the details, and this is the screen that you're going to see. So we have the title, which is the consultation, and I have this time blocked off, and right now it's on the 28th, and let's say I want to have it on the 5th. So on the 5th, I want to start my appointments at 10 a.m., and I'd like to make them available all the way up until 4 p.m. We'll go ahead and offer them as 30-minute slots, but I can make that a different amount of time if I wanted. And I can book the location, or I can list the location. So I could list the location. I can just say the main building, right? I can say our main building is where we want to have, or I can go to select the rooms, and that would be how you would book resources normally when you were scheduling a calendar event. So I can say that I need to have that conference room A, and that's going to be booked from 10 to 4 for me with my 30-minute appointment slots. And I can enter in the description. So these are my 30-minute consultations. So here I have my 30-minute consultations that are going to be on my Dido training account. Right now it's only on that one day, but I can create a repeating appointment slot. So I can say every Tuesday. I can end these, and these are exactly the same as you would have been using previously for creating repeating calendar events. So each week I'd like to have them on Tuesday, and I'd like to go ahead and have them on Thursdays also. And we'll say we can end that after 20 different occurrences. So you'll notice from this page I can save this at the bottom, and here we have the link which I would share with others so that they can view these newly created appointment slots. So let's go ahead and we'll save this, and we can view my calendar. So here I'm viewing my calendar. We'll turn on the correct calendar. And I have these events scheduled starting next week. So next week, you'll see I have blocked off 30-minute slots on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and others could schedule during these 30-minute slots. So anyone I've shared this calendar with can see on my calendar that these are blocked off as busy time that I'm not available, but others can book the scheduled, book the appointment. So let's take a look at the link which they would need in order to access. So I would have to provide individuals with this link here, and you can create a shorter link as well. So I provide anyone with that link, and they would be able to view the calendar. So we have the previous week, so no appointment slots available just yet. And we have, let's see, we can get to this appointment slot. I think we're going to go, we'll try one more time to get the correct link. So I have this link here, which I previously created, and this link is actually showing a different calendar. I created those events on the Dido training calendar, but I also have this main calendar. And when I switched to the main calendar, we got a new calendar link. So I can create that one as well. So now I've scheduled this more onto a primary calendar, and this one is one that's viewable through that link. So let's take a look again. We'll try this one more time. I'm going to demonstrate for you because I know that this works. I just did it using it recently. So here we have the calendar. We have consultation appointment times which are available. So anyone that we present this calendar to, this calendar link, they would be able to book appointment times. You'll see that 2 of them have taken. The user could simply select the time and then they can save that, and they can choose in a different time. So we'll stay here and we'll select another consultation. And so these are updated, and anyone that visits this link is able to see that these appointment times are not available. Now, currently, this calendar is set up that users can see the event details. So let me just remind you, and that's probably from a previous session where maybe you'd reviewed how you show only free busy information on a calendar. This calendar is currently showing event details. So anyone will be able to see what's occurring. But if you wanted it to be a little bit more a private calendar, if you have it publicly displayed, but you don't want everyone to see exactly what's occurring, then you want to make sure that you're sharing only the free busy information for that calendar. So we can go back to this calendar, and we would want to go to the calendar settings on how this calendar is shared. So individually, we're showing individuals this calendar, but we can also decide to make this calendar public. So this would be the kind of a calendar, an event calendar or a public calendar that you wanted others to be able to view, and you would select that you want them to see only the free busy. So from this perspective, I'm going to be able to see all my calendar event details, but I've changed the sharing rights so that others would only be able to see the free busy information on that calendar. So that's kind of a little bit of a brief overview on how you would do appointment slots. And now I just want to show also how you can change the default length of meetings, and that's just a recent update to the platform. So let's take a look at creating an event. So if you create an event, and you can go to your calendar settings. Previously, the default meeting length is listed here, and it was only a 60-minute option. So whenever you scheduled an event, it was always going to be a 60-minute default. You could always go in and change that. But you now can say, I'd like for all of my minutes to be 30 minutes long. And oftentimes you'll find that your meetings are back-to-back. This is kind of the speedy meeting option. So you can actually say that your 30-minute meetings are 25-minute meetings so that everyone ends and gives you a little bit of 5-minute buffer in between back-to-back meetings. So that's kind of whenever you schedule as a 30-minute, it'll show as the 25-minute block of time. So I'll show you where that is when I create an event. and I say that I'd like for my event to begin at 3 o'clock, you'll notice that the default time was 3:25. So previously, when you scheduled an event, if you scheduled it for 3, it went until 4. You'd have to go in and manually change this. But if you know that you would prefer to have 25-minute meetings, then that's going to be the default time slot. So you can have a new meeting that you're going to save, and that new meeting is going to be a 25-minute meeting. That kind of demonstrates the differences on the new features on Calendar. I just wanted to talk very briefly about the new features on Docs as well. So,
hey Michelle, before we move on to the Docs, there we got some good questions that are coming in. And I went ahead and added a couple appointment slots I went ahead to your calendar and added myself. And they have a question that says, do you get an email when someone adds themselves to an appointment slot? So if you want to go to your inbox there and see what we receive here, you can see that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yep, no problem. Great. Thank you, Matt, for going ahead and booking some of those times. So you'll see that there's actually a consultation by myself. So I received an invitation. So this is how it appears when I had booked those time slots for myself. And then also, similarly, these are the ones that Matt went ahead and scheduled as well. So you'll see that my agenda, I have all of these appointment slots, and they've been allocated by individuals already. So Matt has booked a couple of these. So you do get the invitation in your inbox from the appointment slots being selected.
Excellent. That's great. There's actually 2 more questions that I wanted to get to, and before we move on to the Docs there, one of the questions was, can you add a logo to a signature? And it's a great question, and the answer is yes, but it's a little bit different than just copying and pasting an image that we discussed into the signature there. What you have to do is when you go to your signature section there, you'll see the icon to add your image. And Michelle, if you just want to do that really quickly here. Up into your settings there, you'll see that you have to enter this by a URL. So what you'll see there is you see she has the ability to add an image. Clicks on the image link there, and you have to get the URL for the image. But most of the time, when you do find an image on the web, especially one for your organization that you may have, you'll be able to right-click, and especially if you're in Google Chrome, using Google Chrome, when you right-click, one of the images, one of the options, pardon me, is the ability to save image URL. And you'll be able to do that and just put it right into your signature there. And that's a great way to do it. Michelle will demonstrate that. And then also one of the last questions I wanted to answer was, is there a limit to the amount of sublabels? And after just some further investigation, we were able to confirm that there is no limit. So you're able to have as many signature or as sublabels as you need. So just wanted to clarify that. And as you can see there, Michelle has put a big Google logo there in her signature for us all to see. And when she goes to compose a message here, you'll see that it's part of that. Now, you can actually, when you're in the signature there, you can resize that to fit a little bit better, but we wanted to just demonstrate the fact that you can post that there. So, yes, there you go. You can add that, okay? And what you'll see here is we have another question here, is how do you know someone has accepted / rejected an appointment? So I guess what you're saying is when somebody go ahead.
When someone goes ahead and selects one of the consultations, so you actually are automatically accepting by putting the appointment slots out there available. It's an automatically accepted appointment on your end. But Matt, if you want to go in and cancel your appointment, I think that's the question. So right now I'm automatically accepting. I guess, I could respond, no, I'm not able to keep this appointment slot, but they wouldn't be able to view any appointment slots that had already been taken. They wouldn't be able to book those. So presumably, I've listed the appointment times which are truly available, so it's automatically included. I could always say no. So this is on my side. Now, whenever those appointment slots are taken, they're not available for anyone else. but that person can go back in and cancel their appointment. So they would actually go on their personal calendar and they would cancel from their personal calendar. So they would go not back to my calendar, they would go to their personal, remove the event or cancel the event from their side, and then I should get notifications, so we'll check here in a minute.
Yeah, I've gone ahead and deleted 2 of them, so you should see there, yeah.
And so here we have Matt has declined the invitation.
Now, it gives you an option as well when you are declining there to provide the notification to the person or the guests if there are more than one. If this is like a 2-on-1 consultation and you're the person that is the one and you decide to go ahead and cancel that event, it will give you the option to say, yes, I want to send the notification to those people, or no, just go ahead and cancel it. But I think it's always proper to send the notification as well. So you do have your options there as an end user. So we had one more question, and I hate to keep holding you up there, but while we're on the topic of conversations, we had a great question. When I paste my signature when creating a signature, it loses its formatting, fonts, etc. How can I keep the formatting without having to recreate it? So, go ahead, Michelle, there. Sorry.
I was going to say I've actually seen that often, and the copy and paste into Google does not hold the formatting in the fonts. The fonts that are available through your Google signature are potentially a different font style than what you're trying to copy and paste. And I think that typically is the reason for the issue. So if you have your fonts, and you'll see here there's a set of fonts which are available, and unfortunately when everyone tries to just do a straight copy and paste, a lot of the formatting is lost because it's not a perfect match to the formatting. So the best signature line, and it's going to go out on every email, so I think you'll probably want it to look the best. Unfortunately, you will have to recreate to get the best image. So I think what you've discovered is the best practice. You just have to go ahead and recreate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And no new questions at this moment, so go ahead and tell us all about Docs.
Okay, so there were a few more features that were new in Google Docs, and so we can go through to the next slide here. And so in Google Docs, you had improved discussions, and then also you would also see the limit warnings in spreadsheets. So there's, we'll do a demonstration in terms of the discussions in Docs, but the limit warnings in spreadsheets, I'm not going to necessarily do a demonstration of that because I would have to create information to exceed the limits. Essentially, so I'll just talk to you about that briefly. You're going to be prompted now when you're approaching the limit of the spreadsheet, and that's just to tell you in advance. I know a lot of people, if they were creating a lot of columns and cells in the spreadsheet, you want to know in advance that you're about to exceed the limit in case you want to change the way that you're entering the details. So I went ahead and just listed those limits for you, but definitely if you're working with spreadsheets and doing a lot of large spreadsheets, be aware that you will be notified if you're exceeding the limits, but there are limits to the size of the spreadsheet. So you can look those up in the future. So what I want to talk about and demonstrate is just the improved discussions in Docs. So the discussion pane that shows the selected text for each comment thread, and I really like that feature. We previously had comments and discussions. They kind of incorporated the two, and I think that they've really blended them nicely together. Then also you have email notifications when the selected text and the comment are updated. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. So here we have a document where we can have a discussion, and I already started to have a brief discussion with Matt so that you can kind of see what we're referring to. So I previously highlighted information. I'll show you how I can do that again. So we'll say this is for IT admins, the Chrome browser support. Okay, so let's go ahead and say I want to insert a comment. This is highlighted, and to the right I have my yellow box has appeared, and I can make a comment in reference to this. So here I'm posting. Now when I post this comment, it posts it directly to the right-hand side, and you'll see that I have the yellow highlight. So if I point to this yellow highlighted, it pulls in, you'll see on the right-hand side, that this discussion or this highlighted information is related to that comment, which is now highlighted yellow. And when I select this highlighted portion, to the right I have that comment which is highlighted yellow. So it brings to the surface which comment was related to the yellow highlighted portion. So now I have Matt has made a comment. Yes, he heard that Dido has a great support staff and they'll be able to help. So here he's entered a comment. I can edit or I can delete this comment. Now just something to be mindful of, if you delete it, it is still in someone's email because as we mentioned, you get email notifications of your discussions on your documents. So we've made this discussion here and I can even say, okay, thanks for the info. I can reply and mark it as resolved. So this comment is resolved. We've gone over it and all of the information is resolved there. We no longer have that comment visible, but we can see the history of all the comments and the discussions. We can show the discussions. So here we have the discussions. We've got this green check because this issue has been resolved. I can reopen the issue and it will appear again as a current discussion in my document. I can go ahead and say that this one is resolved, so it will no longer appear in the document. And here we have still the outstanding issues. So I can comment from here, or I can comment on those comment sections within the document. So this is just a great record of all of the conversations that were put into the creation of a document. You know, you can always go back and you can look at your edit history of a document, but sometimes it's nice to know the side comments and not have to review the history just to learn how it evolved. So here we have all of the document comments, which you can see there. So again, Matt has listed a comment and I can reply. So we can easily have this conversation on the document, and then these discussions can be reviewed later. That is different than us having a live chat. So we could have this live chat in our document. So here we could have a live chat in the document, and that's not part of the record. So this is just our live chat within the document, but these are our comments related to the document. And so we would have all of the conversations. We'll have to try and see how long it may take to update. Of the conversations and discussions are going to be appearing in our inbox as discussions. So let me make sure that I have signed up for. So here we have Matt who said it looks good. Apologize. So I wanted to make sure that I have email notifications on. So notifying me of all comments. So it was only going to notify me of replies to the comments, so I should get Matt's replies. But you can say you don't want any email notifications or you do want email notifications. So here I have email notifications, and should be the case if we enter any additional comments that we would now be notified by email, not just kind of that summary. So here we have made a few comments, and we should be able to have a better view here. To refresh our screen and hopefully get the updates. So it's taking a little longer, but you can see where you would be able to sign up for the discussion notifications, and it would come in as an email. And the email really does look very much like this discussion, and you just get an email of this conversation which has taken place. And so I think what I may have noticed is the document here, I apologize, the document here is owned by myself in another account. So I can show you kind of what this conversation looks like in another account. And again, I'm not seeing the updates. I do know that you do get the updates because I get them frequently on other documents. So I apologize for this demonstration. It doesn't seem to be refreshing very quickly, but definitely a really helpful feature, being able to have all of the discussions in one place and where you can view them later and you can mark them as resolved issues and getting notifications that all of these issues have been resolved is really helpful. So that's kind of the last feature that we wanted to review for everyone today. And just looking at the next steps. The items we reviewed today, really you can find all of those features at the What's New in Google Apps. So help site for visiting all of the new features that are coming out in Google Apps. You can see what's on the roadmap for the future as well. So check out the What's New in Google Apps. And then also you can stay up to date on the latest Google Apps features by visiting us on our YouTube channel, also following us on Twitter, and checking us out on Facebook, and as well we have our Dido blog. So all of those great ways to find out more information. Want to take a few minutes and see if there are any final questions. So if you want to raise your hand if you want to ask a question out loud, or if you want to enter a question into the questions panel, we have a few more minutes left that we can go over those with you. So kind of open opportunity. You can ask us questions. We'll kind of go back through and we can prompt you with a little bit of ideas. If you had any questions about docs, anything more about the appointment slots or what was new in the calendar, anything about mail, or the admin control panel, those are a couple of the things that we went over today. So if you have any questions about any of these or any other Google Apps features, we'd be happy to answer them. So it sounds like perhaps, Matt, we don't have any additional questions. I don't know if we may have had one come in. Okay.
Looks like we have one here. Do comments only work in documents, or do they apply to spreadsheets and presentations as well?
Very good question. So this discussions feature, entering all of the discussions, are a part of your, this is in your Google Docs. So if we look at spreadsheets, there is the ability to have, I can show you where you can have notifications. And those would be notifications for spreadsheets. So we can enter comments, but those comments are actually per cell. So you can insert a comment, but that comment is only going to be per cell. And you can get notifications. You can sign up for notifications similarly. I think I have to go ahead and put some data in here. And you can sign up for notifications out of spreadsheets, but it's not really a discussion forum. So spreadsheets and presentations don't have that same layout. There is the ability to get notifications of changes, and you can insert comments, but it's a little bit different format. So the main discussions are available through your Google Docs. So it's this page here. So this discussions ability is really a function of just the Google Docs. So do we have any other questions? I actually do know that they are making some significant changes to presentations soon. So I think you would be excited to see that they're going to be improving those. I think that's an area that we do, all of our presentations for the slides are through Google Presentations. And there are a lot of things that even we would see could be improvements. So I don't know if that discussions is something that's going to be a part of that improvement, but we do know that they are going to be making presentation improvements soon. So we don't have any other questions.
Hey, I just wanted to make note here that I received email notification just now on the document discussions.
Okay. So,
so it could just be lagging a little bit, but it was within a couple of minutes. So I did receive them, and they do come in. So I just wanted to let everybody know, and it lets you know what the other person wrote. It actually shows you the whole conversation. So.
Yes. So it does give you that view. I don't know if Matt, if you have that view, if you want to show everyone.
Yeah, let me jump in here real quick. I'll take the presenter here. And give me 1 second. As it's taking a while to load, but you'll see here that first couple emails right there are the discussions. So hopefully it'll load here. See if we can just load it in basic HTML. We'll open this up, and you can see here. But that's what that looks like here. So you can see she's wrote that, I wrote that, and then she marked it as resolved. So this is what it will look like here. It shows you what comment she made right here. So. Okay.
Great. Well, I'm glad it made it to your inbox. I knew that it would get to someone's inbox. So thanks for bringing it to our attention before we left, letting everyone see how those notifications appear.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, again, just going to keep it open for a couple more minutes. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to go ahead and type those in, raise your hands. Any questions about today's presentation or Google Apps in general? Or just any questions. If you guys have any questions, we may have some answers for you. So we'll go ahead and leave it open for just a couple more minutes. But that's the end of our presentation for the day. We really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us, taking some precious time out of your day to learn more about your Google Apps platform. We do encourage you to take what you've learned today and kind of pass it on to some of your power users, and they could pass that on to other end users as well. You know your staff a little bit better than we do, and we find that these features are not only useful to administrators, but the whole staff as well. So, again, we encourage you to take the knowledge and pass it along. And what we're going to do in the future here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to send out a Google form to all of our clients, and we're going to kind of get a poll as to what you all want to see for some of these webinars that we do, kind of get some feedback from you all there. So we'll be keep an eye out for that email as well as the email announcement for July's webinars. So we really appreciate you guys coming. And we do have another question. Off topic, how's the new Dido directory coming along? When can we see a testing release? That is a great question. Our developers have been working day and night on bringing that up to speed. I think that we are pretty close to releasing, and a lot of great new features. Really, really useful tool. It's really come a long way. It's matured. And we've been seeing some of the features internally there. I can't let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I like your enthusiasm, and I can say that I think we're pretty close, and we should be seeing have some testers out there soon. So I'll make sure that you're one of the people there that is interested, and we'll see what we can do to get you involved. Okay? But thanks for inquiring, Michelle. Do you have anything to add there?
I am actually currently chatting to see if I could get some information to release to everyone since they raised the question. So
perfect.
I think if I'm able to, I'll probably have that response within the next couple of seconds. So yeah, I know that we did recently make some upgrades, and those were demonstrated at Google I/O, and final version is going to be made available very soon. So the update that I'm receiving is that there is a limited beta starting today. So they're going to, for limited users, they are going to, starting today. I don't know if that's a coincidence that we're doing this webinar and the question was asked today. So there's limited testers, trusted testers that are going to be allowed to have access, and we'll make sure that we get your name and information. Perhaps we can pass that along as you being interested in being one of those testers of the beta version. So definitely thanks for the question. But we definitely appreciate that you're asking, not too off topic. That was a great question. So if anyone else has any others, I'd be happy to answer them now. Want to see anything else demonstrated?
I went ahead and provided your information to our developers there. They may have selected the group already, but I'm sure they'll be able to work something out, so you may be hearing from them very shortly. So again, thanks for your interest. And Adam, I saw that you're there. I just wanted to verify I'm getting some feedback here. Are you? I assume you are a current Pro user, the Data Directory Pro. Not yet. Okay. I would let me just 1 second here. You know what? Maybe what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wrap today's webinar up. If you want to go ahead and I'll give you a call maybe right after this, and we can talk it out and see what we can do here. So if you want to go ahead and just send me the best number to reach you at, I'm the only person that can see the information that you'll be providing, and I'll go ahead and give you a shout right after this. Okay? Perfect. All right, excellent. Well, thanks again, guys. We really appreciate you coming out, and we'll go ahead and end today's session. And again, look forward to that survey that's coming out and also the information for July's webinar. Michelle Taylor, thank you for joining me and assisting. Always a pleasure.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.